Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulih al-kareem. Muhammadin al-Amin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. We give glory and gratitude to Allah alone, the Creator, the Omnipotent, the Omniscient, the beginning, the end, the all-powerful, the one that made Ramadan to go fast, the one that has the wisdom behind everything. May He not deny us the goodness of Ramadan, and may He continue to keep us steadfast in His path until the day of Qiyamah. So today we'll be talking about patience, and we made the class open because it's a makeup class for a couple of classes that we missed. Previously, while doing that session, and I have come to rekindle that fire of patience for us. So the scholars start by defining patience in literal terms and also in the terms of Sharia, technical terms. So in literal terms, patience means deprivation. It could be deprivation of various forms. We're going to see the types. There are different classes of patience. Deprivation of the soul against depression, against intolerance, against distress. Deprivation of the tongue against complaining to everyone, against talking anyhow. Deprivation of the tongue against insulting, cursing. Or deprivation of the body parts against self-inflicted harm. Tearing your clothes because someone passed away, hitting yourself, jumping and hitting yourself on the ground. This is the literal meaning of patience. It could also mean depriving oneself from your desires, your natural needs, training yourself in discipline in a particular line. Patience also literally means something strong in a particular sense, facing a strong situation, like literal bitterness. There are some medicines that are so bitter, but you take them and you swallow them. Patience is seen to withstand that, to be able to, to bear the bitterness in anticipation for the good or for the outcome. Patience literally also mean, or is taken from holding and sticking together. So a patient person in the sense is someone who consciously composes himself or herself and activates that button of self-control when certain circumstances arise. So the person is watching what they are doing. The person is careful about what they say. The person is mindful about how they react to certain things that happen around them. So these are literal meanings of patience. As-sabr. As-sabru, as-sabru, as-sabr. So we go technical. So technically, first of all of the above meanings fall into the correct meaning of patience. In all we do to fight against desires, our lures, our laziness, our carelessness, also mean to taste hardship and endure difficulty in times of hardship. Allah says in Surah Al-Balad, verse 3, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have created man into hardship. You struggle. Even there's some rich people that they never tasted poverty. They never tasted real hardship per se, in the sense of they were born into wealth. They never lacked food. They never lacked water. They never had to do the dishes. They never had to do their laundry. But they still had one form or another of hardship. It would be academic struggle, it might be something, it might be. So every human being will face some form of hardship. It might just be from one level to another. Some are more complicated, some are more, oh my goodness, you can't even think about it. And some are very mild, like, oh, you have no problem. But to you, it's no problem because you've received high ones before. But to that person that has seen nothing before, it's a big problem. Allah also says in Surah Al-Insan, verse 12, وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا. And Allah will reward them for what they patiently endured. So Allah is replacing Jannah, place with AC, cool, nice, good weather, good food, good everything, good nourishment, replacing it with your endurance, what you endured, what you patiently endured. So you endured heat, the opposite, you endured hunger, you endured fasting, you endured loss of loved one, you endured all these things. So Allah is replacing all those things with happiness, with fruitfulness, with exactly. So that is one understanding of what patience is. So Allah in the Quran tells his messenger, say, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. Allah is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say, and keep yourself patient by being with those who call upon their Lord in the morning and in the evening, not by being with those who galaboos and who do amebo. You seeking Allah's face in acceptance, and let not your eyes pass beyond them, desiring adornment of the worldly life, and do not obey one whose heart we have made heedless of our remembrance, and who follows his desire, and whose affairs is ever in neglect of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained. So Allah is telling his prophet, indirectly telling us, he said, be patient. So Allah knows all these things, staying upon the morning and the evening, seeking Allah's face, going to pray your salah, going, desiring adornments of the worldly life, obeying, following your heart or not. These are all issues tied to patience. So the scholar said the opposite of patience, sabr, is intolerance, al-jaza, depression, anxiety. You cannot hold yourself from any kind of thing at all. You just want to get it. Allah says in Surah Ibrahim, verse 21, وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. This is where Allah combines al-jaza and sabr in one verse. Allah is putting together patience and intolerance, impatience, if you want to say that. He said, and they will come out for judgment before Allah altogether. فَقَالَ الضُّعَفَاءُ لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا. And then the weak ones will say to those who were arrogant, إِنَّا كُنَّا لَكُمْ تَبَعًا. Indeed, we were followers of you. We used to follow you and see what you led us to. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُغْنُونَ عَنَّا مِنْ عَذَابٍ. So can you avail us anything against the punishment of Allah? قَالُوا لَوْ هَدَانَ اللَّهُ لَهَدَيْنَاكُمْ. They will say, if Allah had guided us, we would have guided you. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْنَا. It is all the same for us. أَجَزِعْنَا أَمْ صَبَرْنَا. That we show intolerance or we are patient to face the punishment. مَا لَنَا مِن مَحِيصٍ. There is no place for us to escape. So جَزِعْنَا أَمْ صَبَرْنَا. So jaza is the opposite of sabr. And jaza means intolerance, impatience, always showing sadness, anger, misery. Life is miserable, life is difficult, life is hard, life is useless, I'm tired of life. That is how you know somebody who's jaza encapsulated. Sabr also means perseverance in obedience, staying away from sins and dislikes by Allah. And we shall see that complaining to Allah is different from complaining to human beings. We say don't complain to human beings. It shows you're not patient. I'm going to explain that in details. But we don't say you cannot complain to Allah. You can tell Allah, Allah, this problem is too much for me. Allah, please help me. Allah, this is, you can complain to Allah. That is totally halal. It is when you start talking to human beings, especially those that cannot even help you, those that they are not even, the information is not even needed for them, then it becomes a sign of jaza that might reduce, if not take all the reward that you're supposed to get from being patient. So the way you comport yourself and you behave yourself in times of trials, good behavior and self-composure in times of trials is also patience. So basically, the scholars classify patience into three different types: patience in obedience, as-sabru ala ta'ah, patience in staying away from what Allah has prohibited, as-sabru an ma'asiyah, and patience when calamities befall you that you cannot control, as-sabru ala al-bala. People also define sabr as making people feel you are content in times of adverse poverty. You have not eaten for 3 days, but yet you go to work, everything is fine. You don't act, you don't owe your face. I never shop. You don't show to people what the reality is, to save your face and to not let people see that you are suffering. That is another definition of patience. So Sufyan al-Thawri used to always say that there are three things that are from patience. Do not speak of your tribulation or affliction. Do not speak of your calamities or pain or responsibilities that are too much for you to carry. And do not praise yourself out of the feeling of self-righteousness. That's the statement of Sufyan al-Thawri. Okay. There is good patience and there is bad patience. Excuse me. The good patience is all that we've explained above. All the calamities, the not showing it, not all that we've defined both literally and technically. And the bad patience is when one is comfortable with disobedience without any feel of remorse, negligent of Allah's command without feeling anything bad in it. So you are patient in doing bad things. That is a bad patience. That is not the kind of patience we are talking about today. So there are names associated with patience. So patience has some children and grandchildren that fall under it. So if you have any of these attributes that we're going to talk about, you are classified as someone having a part of patience in them. And Allah so bless you, you have all of them, subhanallah, then you are patience. Your name becomes patience. So one of them is called al-iffa. Al-iffa is a characteristics that you have if it is against the desire of your sexual urge. Your sexual desire, if you can control your sexual desire, you can protect yourself from having illegal sexual activities with those who are not halal for you, then you have what is called al-iffa, and it is a kind of patience. So the opposite of al-iffa is zina and committing all sorts of atrocities. Then if you are able to hold yourself from the need of your belly, anywhere you shop, anything you shop pork, shop drink, you cannot control yourself from your belly. If you can, you are called shib'un nafs or sharafun nafs. And the opposite is ashara and dana'a and da'atun nafs, wasting yourself. So if you're able to hold your belly from not eating whatsoever, and this is very important. You see somebody claim he's an ustadh, but you see his belly big. I don't want to talk about pastors. Let's talk about our own ustadh. So you say you're an ustadh, your stomach is big, you are overweight, you can't even control what you eat, you can't take care of your physical self. Which kind of ustadh you be? I've seen people who are non-Muslims tell me, say, wallahi, I respect many imams more than I respect pastors. I have a very close friend who tells me that. He said, wallahi, I hate to see a pastor preaching and with big stomach. That you can already tell from that, these are people who see hygiene as part of their life. And this is what the Prophet has taught us about hygiene. Don't eat to the extent your belly big, you become a belly bust. You cannot even do anything, you cannot function again. The Prophet has taught us how to moderate our nutrition. So this person will tell me that most of the imams he knows are not like that. But why are these pastors like that? All they care about is eating food, get big and get money, and they can't even control their hygiene. So there are people that when they see you as an ustadh, One of the things they want to look at you is how hygienic are you? How nutritious? Do you eat anyhow, or do you have big belly for no reason? You just be eating whatever. So if you are able to be patient, to control your hygiene, to eat responsibly, then that is another part of patience. Then if it is to hold your tongue, not to talk thara, call it thara, you just keep talking anyhow, you just want to talk, I'm a boy, everybody talk, yeah, I'm me be the guy, I'm me the turn, I'm me the rain. Talk too much, what it concern you, what it not concern you, what is important, what is not important, you keep talking. If you are able to hold yourself from that, it's another kind of patience called kitmanu sir, keeping secret of people. And the opposite of that is either you are the announcer, ifsha, you are the spreader, tuhma, you are the one who goes and talk against people's dignities. Is that okay? You don't even know when you start insulting people, telling lies on people. Then if it is patience in the time of when you have, and you are able to get extra, you are able to get surplus, you are able to get the luxuries of life, but you decide not to. You are a billionaire, but you don't want to drive expensive cars. You don't want to build the biggest house. You still want to live your simple life. Then it is called zuhud. Zuhud is another kind of patience. It means you have all the luxury, but you decide to live simply. It's patience. Another kind of patience called zuhud. Then if it is the patience on being satisfied with what Allah has provided for you, that is called qana. You work, you strive, at the end of the month, some people paid you, some didn't pay you, some carry your money around, some stole from you. You are okay. Whatever comes at the end of the month, you are okay. You don't complain, you don't whine. Is that okay? Al-anin. That's what they call whining. Al-anin. You whine to him. You don't whine. If you're that kind of person with that kind of patience, then you are called, that type of patience is called qana. Then if somebody comes with you with anger, and they come furiously at you, they want to charge at you, and they want to fight you, and they want to instigate that anger in you. They want to, little tintillations, and, trying to make you, arouse your anger, if you want to say. And yet you don't react. They arouse your anger, they came to your compound, bang on your door, shout, It's called hilm. That's another kind of patience. Then somebody will come with ajala. They're in a hurry all the time, in a hurry, more they go. They cannot calm down. They cannot relax and do things. They're always in a hurry, rush, and they will rush and finish everything, and everything will scatter. If you are a person who can hold that hastiness, you are not in a hurry to do everything. You take your time and do it well. Then that is called waqar and thabat. And the opposite, the person who does all that, is toish and khiffa. That is another kind of patience. If you are somebody that is not drawn towards, revenge. Oh, you do this to me, I will show you, I'll do you back. No worry, now leave him. I go show him, no worry, you won't go scot-free. So if you are somebody who is able to hold yourself from revenge, from taking revenge from somebody that has done something to you, that is another kind of patience. It's called afu and safh. And we did this in Surah Al-Hujurat. Wa'afu wasfahu. Is that okay? وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمْ. So if you are that kind of patient person, it's another kind of patience for you to be able to not revenge, not talk back, not give back everything that everybody dish out to you. You want to punish. You do this to me, I'll show you. You are lacking that aspect of patience. Then there is patience in generosity, because many people are selfish and stingy and greedy. So they want to always collect. They don't know how to give. They want to always collect. They don't know how to give. Nasruddin. There's this funny Arab guy that's called Nasruddin with his funny stories. And if you know, one of his famous funny stories was the story of Inshallah, when he told his wife he was going hunting and he was going to come back with some big meat. And the wife said, say Inshallah. He said, no, I never say Inshallah. I'm sure. Don't worry. So on his way, he encountered some military personnel who were trying to question him about directions, and he was rude to them. So they gave him a very good beating, and he could not complete his journey to go hunt. So he came back home and knocked at the door, and the wife said, who's that on the door? He said, I'm your husband, Inshallah. So he learned his lesson, and Inshallah became part of what he was saying every day. So in one of his stories, he was known to be a very stingy man. So one day he fell into a ditch, and they were trying to bring him out. They say, oh, bring your hand, let's take you out, give us your hand. So because he's not used to giving, he doesn't want to give his hand. So one of his friends came by and said, oh, you don't know this man? He never gives, don't worry, tell him to take our hand, take our hand. That was when he helped, and then they brought him out. So it's one of his funny stories, Nasruddin, they call him. Okay, so some people are like that. For you to be patient enough to wave yourself off the scene of greed, you want to give what Allah has given you. Your body wants to keep it. You have all these beautiful abayas, all these beautiful dress, but you see one Hajjah, poor Hajjah, walking with tear dress, hawking kunu aya or kunu, how do you call it? Is it kunu zaiki or which one? Kunu aya or kunu, different kunu, and they are just moving. You see them, no abaya. You carry your expensive abayas. You have like 25. You call the Hajjah. You give her one to be putting on. You know. This is patience on its own. Your ability to give out from what Allah has given you. Then patience, we've talked about food and drink, but specifically when you are fasting. You are fasting and someone brings food, you say, no, you are patient. You know, no, I'm fasting, don't worry, eat out. Is that okay? And then there is patience against laziness. You have schoolwork, you are lazy, you don't want to, you are just taking your time. You are, procrastination. I'll put it like that. So if you are able to kill that procrastination and kill that laziness, you wake up at night, you pray, you study, you are at the best, you are trying to do your work, you go to work early, not late all the time, excuses, I'm late, you are on top of everything you do. That is another kind of patience. And that kind of patience is called case. The opposite is laziness and procrastination, al-kasal wal-ajz. And there is another patience, the one of carrying responsibility. Oh, you are the only one that is the senior of the children. You should help us. You are the first son. You are the one who's successful. Your younger ones cannot afford school fees. And as your parents, we are tired now. We are no longer working, or we don't earn that much. So can you help us pay school fees for these children, or your cousin, or your uncle? People will bring responsibilities to you. All of them, you will carry them like nothing. Even if you don't have it, you will do. You will give. And people will start thinking, oh, you get money, oh, that guy rich. You are not rich. You are just able to sacrifice for the greater good, for Allah's sake. That is patience. Many people, 90% of people, I don't get, sorry. I don't get, so the one way I get, I go do, the one I don't go feed to. They will tell you, hoha. It's not a sin, but it takes patience to carry such responsibilities without complaining. So everything we do, everything we live for the sake of Allah has a particular name, but it's also associated with patience. They are all associated with patience. That is why patience is tied to most of the activities we do in worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Patience can never be separated. Ali bin Abi Talib said patience is half of the deen, and we're coming to see the status of patience and what scholars say about patience. So patience has different types too. The sabr is the one we know. That's what we've been talking about. There's a tasabbur. There is al-istibar, there is musabara, and there is murabata. These are all different levels of patience. Sabr is when it has become a part of you, your normal routine, your daily life, you are patient, you're doing that sabr. That's the general one we know. But at-tasabbur is when it comes in a particular time. You lose your child, you lose your job, you lose your mom, you lose your dad, you lose that person that's been taking care of your responsibility, you lose that person that you love so much, your beautiful daughter, your handsome son, like that. So when you are patient in that time continuously, so it leading to having to train yourself in patience during hardship or bitterness, that is called tasabbur. So as-sabr is seen to be higher than tasabbur, because if that thing has not happened, you wouldn't have been training yourself. Is that okay? So sabr is the ability not to tell the difference between time of ease or time of hardship. That's your normal life, as-sabr. But tasabbur is dealing with a particular situation that has come to you, which most times we have no control over, and we have no option other than be patient after all. So that is why sabr is seen by scholars to be of a higher class than tasabbur. So let's come to istibar. Istibar is higher than sabr, and it is the result of at-tasabbur. Continuous at-tasabbur, you become istibar. You're practicing lots of tasabbur that one might become mustabir. Mustabir is the one that can take any situation like nothing, no matter how daring and devastating. So because you have trained yourself to withstand such situations, whatever happens, say, don't worry. Like the sheikh that he was giving a lecture, and a student came to whisper in his ear, and he said, Alhamdulillah. And he continued the lecture, and later on, the student came, like his PA, came and whispered again, say, Alhamdulillah. And he continued, and then the student said, Ustadh, take it easy. These two, Alhamdulillah, what you talk, we want to learn from you. What? This guy came, say, Alhamdulillah. An hour later or so, he came again, he said, Alhamdulillah. He said, yes, the first time he came, he told me the shipment that was bringing the shipment that he ordered, that was bringing all his goods for trade, was lost in the ocean. And he said, Alhamdulillah. And then a few hours later, he came back again. He said, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Your shipment has arrived. That was somebody else's shipment. That was a mistake. Your shipment has arrived. He said, Alhamdulillah. That is, istibar. You train yourself to the extent that nothing shakes you anymore. Your son just passed. Alhamdulillah. Your job just fired you. Alhamdulillah. You don't carry everything in your head like, hey, I don't die, I don't finish you. How I want to do this one. You have not trained yourself to istibar. Then musabara is to win against one's desire and one's will to fight or quarrel. Somebody bring quarrel, you want to quarrel back. Are you talking to me? Why are you telling lies against me? You raise your voice. You're able to control yourself when you are in a situation where it's your right, somebody is talking trash to you, or whatever it is. You're able to control that situation and not quarrel, not fight, even when the opportunity presents itself. That is called musaba. And then murabata is to keep one's heart and desires at check constantly. You don't do anything. You don't allow shaitan to decide for you. At every circumstance, you're in control. That is called murabata. That is what makes the enemy afraid. They will do you bad, but they see you don't retaliate. They will not be afraid of you. Even in the battlefield, it's a good fighting technique. Allah says in Surah Ali Imran, verse 200, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu isbiru wa sabiru wa rabitu wa taqullaha la'allakum tuflihun. O you who have believed, isbiru, persevere, be patient, wa sabiru, musabar, and endure, wa rabitu, remain stationed, remain steadfast, wa taqullah, and fear Allah, be cautious of Allah, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, that you may be successful. So Allah is combining sabr, musabara, murabata, istibar in this verse, in one verse. So what does that mean? The scholars say you might be patient with sabr, but lack the endurance of musabara. So one instant you are a very patient person, another situation happens, you cannot do musabara, you cannot control your anger, you cannot control yourself. You might have both. You might have sabr and musabara, but you like murabata. You still sometimes fall for your desires. You can't control shaitan. You know? You might have all three. You have murabata, but you still lack taqwa. You lack taqwa in performing duties to Allah. You are very patient. You are very this, but when it's time for salah, you delay your salah. You pray late. You know, you might be this very good person in all this sabr, but your taqwa is still shaking. So Allah is saying, all these steps are things we should imbibe in us. We should inculcate in our hearts. We should try to make part of us so we may be successful. So there is the patience that is commendable, and there is one that is despised that we've talked about. The commendable one is the one we've been talking about. The despised one is to be patient in disobedience. There is also another class of patience. Fasaburun jamil, asabrul jamil is something that Allah has mentioned different times in the Quran, the beautiful patience. What is this beautiful patience? It is said that sabrun jamil is that which does not accompany with itself any form of complaint to people. That is the characteristic of sabrun jamil. The beautiful patience is the one that comes without complaining. But complaining to people is of two kinds. One is complaining to those who cannot help you or improve your situation in any way. They have no need for the information. Just because you want to be bickering and let people know that you are suffering, you just be telling them, even somebody you just met today, oh, how are you? Yeah, my name is this. Do you know I just lost my mom? Do you know? Somebody you just met today, how can that person help you with you understand? Like that, you just want to show the whole world. You want to go on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on everywhere and tell the whole world that you lost everybody. Life has turned down on you. Heaven has fallen on your head. That is the one that is not allowed. The second one is discussing what happened as a form of information. Somebody passed away in the family and you were there when it happened. And then your children came and they asked, Mama, how did he die? You know, you are passing information to a relative or someone who the situation truly concerns, or someone that's also affected by the affliction, and you have the knowledge to tell them what happened. This is not bad. Or talking to a therapist, talking to a doctor to help you in your situation, talking to someone that can really help you. That is not bad. That is not forbidden. Okay? So that is how you explain the complaint part. And there is difference between actual patience and azm, determination to be patient when the situation befalls you. Many people can claim, oh, when I have money, I will do so and so. I will feed all of Africa. I will feed Ghana. I will feed everybody. Me, if I have money like Dangote, I will feed the whole world. I will share. People can make mouth. I will feed Niger Republic. I will build schools everywhere, free education, even just very, like politics, like politicians when they are campaigning. Oh, if you vote for me, I will put rug on the road. I will replace quota with rug. If you vote for me, all of you, we have job. Make mouth. This is called as you are just, this is not patience. You are just telling people what you will do when something comes. Let that thing come. You talk. When Allah brings forth that you have sought, then you see people start acting like they never said anything like that. That is when you can now tell who is patient from who is not. Allah says in Surah Al Imran, verse 143, وَلَقَدْ كُنْتُمْ تَمَنَّوْنَ الْمَوْتِ. He said, you hope that you want to die. مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ تَلْقَى, before it comes to فَقَدْ رَأَيْتُمُوهُ وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. Now it is in front of you. You are looking like a Opolo Opwa. Surah As-Saf from 2 to 4. He said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. He said, you who believe, why do you say things you don't do? Kabura maqatan inda Allah. It is indeed a great misdeed that you say something you do not do. It's a taboo. Inna Allah yuhibbu alladhina yuqatiluna fi sabilihi saffan ka'annahum bunyanun marsus. Allah loves those who fight as one, in unison, in one row, fighting as if they are one tight, marsus. Buildings hold tight with pillars, So all these verses I quoted, they were revealed when people said, oh, we know the good deeds Allah like. If we know those good deeds, if you just tell us what Allah like, we'll do them. Our iman, you have charged us. Our iman, we want to discharge. Just tell us what Allah wants, we will do it. And then Allah said, okay, go and fight. And they say, no, 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 we don't like that one. Mm. So you make mouth, make mouth, make mouth. So making mouth is not patience. Okpolo eye is not open eye. Making mouth all the time, I will do this, I can do that, I can do this. Don't worry, me, no woman can try. Me, I can withstand women. You are just making mouth. When the situation brings itself, the opportunity brings itself, you might be the first to fall and collapse. So the prophet warned against making mouth like that. Don't make mouth for whatever reason. And always pray that if a situation brings itself, Allah should help you to withstand that situation. And it is when you start making mouth that Allah brings trials to you. Okay, Haja, no shaking, Abi. Don't worry, more shake you small. More see if you are no shaking. When you start calling yourself no shaking, can't pay agala, nothing they happen. Allah will not try you with something they happen and humble you. You know, this happened to our sisters in Abuja. We had the story of a sister who was a niqabi, who was advising sisters when they are in polygamy and they have problems. She became a counselor. She was telling them, no, be patient, this is how you fight polygamy. She was the one telling people how to fight polygamy problems and how to manage the husband trouble. When your husband marries second wife, it's Islam, you have to be patient. She's the one preaching patience for second wife. All of a sudden, her own husband marries second wife. Hey! Haja niqab, Haja counselor, pack out of the house. Haja advisor, pack out of the house. You know, when something has not happened to you, you can easily preach patience and talk patience. It's okay, it's going to be well. My brother, that's why I tell people when they're in abusive marriages, I am not one of those malams that will tell you be patient. Yes, if you are patient, Allah will reward you. But patience is not the only way. You can live. You can live a better life. You can save yourself from that humiliation and depression and stress and anxiety for no reason, for one man. I will tell you, there is no man on this earth that is what? Is the person Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not treat his wives like that. May Allah save us. Okay. So there is sabr and qaswa. I'm going to stop at sabr and qaswa. So if you have questions, we can ask. Sabr is patient. Qaswa is the disease of the heart. When your heart is very hard, that is not patience. A patient person holds back for Allah's sake. While a person with the disease of the heart, that qaswa al-qalb, he holds back from acting when he's supposed to because of his lack of feelings or empathy for a situation. He will watch another person bleed to death. Somebody die in front of him. He will not even move. He will be in pain. Somebody will be in pain, suffering. This person will not move an inch. This is not patience. This is arrant wickedness. It's qaswatul qalb. Is that okay? It is the hardness of the heart. So we don't classify that as patience at all. So may Allah save us from such. I'm going to end here, and inshallah, I will take questions if we have questions and answers. Our next class on Saturday will continue with the status of patience in Islam. Okay. I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you guys enjoyed this introduction to the patients. And if you have any questions, you can ask. And if you have feedbacks, please go ahead and post your feedbacks. They are really important for us, inshallah, to know how to move on. Jazakumullahu khairan. I'm waiting for Q&A or feedbacks, inshallah. I'll give a couple of minutes. Okay, in the absence of any questions, inshallah, I'll see you guys next Saturday and we'll continue our talk. Okay, I have a Q&A. Please, how do we register for the next course? Yeah, Raisa is going to send the information. Are you in the group with Raisa? Are you in the group with Raisa, Sister Surat, Suleiman? Yes, so Raisa will send. So she's making a flyer. And she's asking us not to start immediately, that some people just need a short break. So we might give a few weeks in between after next week, just for people to regain themselves before we start. But if you want to register now, feel free to reach out to her and sign up for your registration. But we'll announce the official date when we start, inshallah. So I'll see you guys next Saturday, and I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sausan. Eid Mubarak. تقبل الله منا ومنكم. كل عام وأنتم بخير.